Back in 1965, Feinwerkbau introduced their first ever air rifle, the Model 110. It's a side lever cocking, sliding cylinder, fixed barrel, spring piston match rifle, and it owes a lot of its design to the earlier Anschutz 220. Within a year, Feinwerkbau had patented their recoilless sledge system, and they introduced this with the Model 150. So pretty much overnight, the 110 became a bit obsolete, and it was just a cheaper option to the 150. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to compare these two rifles, so let's have a look at them. On the left, you can see the 110, which recoils in the traditional manner. You can see the whole rifle move back with the force of the shot. But you can see that when you shoot a 150, it's only the mechanism that moves back with the force of the recoil. So it's mounted on these little sliding pins, which allows it to freely move back, and it separates the shooter from the effect of recoil. And you can also see that the 110 moves back pretty much the same distance as the 150. So it looks like they got that amount of travel on the sledge system perfect. I've always wondered what difference that sledge system makes to accuracy, so we're going to do a little test. So I'm going to start with a 150, which has got the sledge system, and we're going to do 10 shots at 20 yards from a seated position at a 2-inch target. Now, what I really want to check out on these videos is the effects of hold sensitivity, really. You know, introduce some into these comparisons. So I'm going to shoot both rifles twice, once using a good Springer hold, and once using a not quite so good Springer hold, and see the difference between the recoilless and the recoiling rifles. So this is my good Springer hold. It's like a light artillery hold. The butt is lightly in the shoulder. Only that I'm barely holding the pistol grip. It's just my thumb and my trigger finger operating the trigger, and it's sitting nicely on my glove. So 10 shots with the artillery hold, and then again with the 150 we're going to do another 10 shots, but this time I'm going to hold it a bit tighter. So the butt is pulled into my shoulder, my hand is more wrapped around the pistol grip, and I'm lightly gripping the front of the rifle. Now initially this feels better because, you know, it wobbles less, it's easier to get on target, you know, it seems to work better. But the trouble is you can't hold it with a consistent amount of tightness shot to shot, and with a recoiling rifle that'll end up in poor accuracy. But on this though, it's actually made a better group than holding it lightly, proving I think that it cancels out hold sensitivity. So let's try the 110 next. I'm guessing I'm going to get opposite results. So again, I'm going to do 10 shots with a good artillery hold. Again, lightly in the shoulder, barely touching the pistol grip, nicely balanced on the glove. And you can see the movement of the rifle in the shoulder. Very nice to shoot. I do prefer this actually to the 150, just because the 150 feels a little bit dead. I accidentally did 11 shots with this, and the grouping's actually pretty good. So out of the first 10 shots, 8 of them go in that group at the top, and only 2 go to the bottom. But I think the very last one goes in the bottom as well. But that's a tight group. That's actually tighter than the 150. So that was with a good artillery hold. And we'll try it again, but this time I'm going to hold it a bit tighter, like I did with the other one. And I think although it starts off well, the group soon starts to open up. And that's generally because of differences in hold. The position's pretty consistent, but I'm probably holding it slightly tighter or not from shot to shot, and it ends up pulling targets off centre. But that's not too bad, you know, 20 metres, open sights, diopter sights. I used the same eyepiece and front element on both rifles, so that was the same. So it's interesting looking at these results. The 110 I think is, as you would expect, a good artillery hold, and you get a tighter group. Once you start holding it tightly, the group opens up. And the 150, it seems that the benefits you get from a tight grip that would normally be penalised by the recoil on a recoiling rifle, you can cash those benefits in. So with a tighter grip, you can hold it more stable, you can get on target quicker, it wobbles less. So I think you benefit from that with the 150. And obviously these are designed for 10 meter air rifle competitions where you're standing and you do maybe 60 shots in a competition. So anything that is going to help you when your technique starts to flag or you start getting tired, anything that's going to give you that edge is going to help. So I think that's one of the reasons that the Feinwerkbau Sledge system was so successful, with, first of all, with the 150, and then obviously with the 300 and the 300S, which dominated 10 meter match rifles for 20 years. Yeah, so interesting experiment. I hope you enjoyed it. And finally, just a little collector's note about the Rarity of the 110. So I contacted Feinwerkbau just to get a breakdown of the numbers that were made between the different models, and they confirmed that there were 340,000 300 and 300Ss made, 44,000 150s made, but only ever 180 110s made. And they were made for about 3 or 4 years, so that's a surprisingly low number. It's probably because they were just not quite as nice as the 150, or perceived to be. So maybe they were only bought by clubs or people who weren't that serious. So probably weren't well looked after. And yeah, I don't know how many are left now, but it's just not many. So it's a shame because they're really nice guns to shoot. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot. Bye.